What's up,
Aloha, gang.
guys? Welcome to another live with Core Team Hawaii. It's gonna be me and Kenny to start.
Where's Derek?
Where is Derek? I don't know. Actually, I called him to. I was like, John Campbell, who's gonna handle this? And he was closer to the thing that needed taken care of. So Derek is off handling something for one of our clients, and he may or may not.
Real boss is.
I know. We may or may not see him come on later, but we will have Jody pop in. So as usual, guys, thanks for hopping on. Load us with questions. If you have any, lives are your opportunity to speak with us kind of in a low pressure way. Ask whatever questions you might have. Maybe if you're not quite ready to have a consult with us, maybe if your timeline's a little bit further out, maybe if you're just exploratory. So we're going to give you guys some updates on what's going on with our team and then give you guys an opportunity to load us down with any questions you guys have too. So we like to start with like a little bit of bragging. We like to share some of our safe surveys, we call them. Our assistant Charlotte, she calls our active clients, meaning maybe we're offer writing, we're about to offer write, maybe we're in escrow, just to kind of get some feedback and see how the experience is going. So we got a couple for everybody but me. None of my people answered the safe surveys this week, but that's okay.
No, had one, but it was.
I still love you guys. So super short.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. So let's start with Kenny since he's right here. This is from Dominic. He is a constant. He is definitely on his game all the time. He even reached out to Sarah, the agent we are using in Georgia, and strategized with her a little bit. He's above and beyond. You guys are very, very lucky to have him. He's also open and objective. He's not only a professional for me, but we've been able to step outside the roles of agent buyer, person to person kind of communication. I'm impressed and very comfortable with everything that's going on. Plus, Kenny is very humble. That is a great review. That's a great survey review.
Thank you for that, Dominic. I'll stay humble and just say thank you. It doesn't get any better than that compliment. And just for you guys, for those of you that are connecting with us on live today, he's just now getting here permanently on island, and we're starting to do showings, but has a home that he needs to sell in Georgia. So we opened up our referral network, and that's who he's putting into context here. So we're here to help wherever you're at in your journey. That's probably the one thing that I would say. But otherwise, just a huge mahalo to Dominic for some great words.
Yeah, thanks, Dominic, and good job, Kenny.
Thank you.
But yeah, on that note, even if it's not Hawaii, if you watch us on YouTube and you have built this, this trust and this bond with us, but say you're selling in Georgia, say you're selling in Washington, we have a network that branches everywhere. And we know, like, and trust a lot of agents in different states and areas. So if you like us, then reach out to us. We can help you connect with an agent wherever you're at. That can help you in a way that we could have potentially helped you if you were going to be in Hawaii. Okay. Here's one for Derek and Aiden. We're in escrow right now. This is from Ethan. We're in escrow right now. Derek is very amazing, personable, and knowledgeable. And we felt that he was really intentional and helped us work through some strategic decisions we have to make and able to put them in a simple way. We're both happy with Derek and Aiden. They as a team are very fantastic for us. Okay, good job, Derek and Aiden. Ethan, this is Ethan. That's in the comments all the time, Ethan, yeah?
Yes.
Them. So I wonder if he's in there now. Awesome. Thanks for the feedback, Ethan. Great to hear. They are a good team. All right, here's one for Kenny and Derek. Yeah, we've closed. I've been living in the place for a couple of days now. It was my first time, and I don't really know, but everything went smooth as it can be. No doubts, no questions. I passed by Derek with the mangoes and macaw, and I was like, he looks familiar, but I'd never actually met him. So although we all collaborate and we're a small team and we work together on pretty much every file, no matter whose name is on it, we're always, masterminding, bouncing things off of each other and brainstorming together. You may not work directly with all of us. You may be primarily working with Kenny, maybe primarily talking to me, and maybe like a coupling of me and Derek or whatever it might be. But just know that like whoever is the person that is your point of contact, we're all kind of talking, and we're talking nice,
Yeah.
but we're all talking about you because we do like to collaborate in that way.
The collab is definitely huge here, and I'll add to that and just say I don't know Ethan and I don't know Adrian, who are the other two
But we
safe
do.
surveys. We know the situation. We collab on problem solving if there is an issue, or we just celebrate it if things are going smoothly. And so, Sarah, thank you. First time home buyers are kind of
Awesome.
my low key favorite.
Yeah.
I enjoy the challenge of coach, mentor, teacher plus advisor and negotiations and stuff, and that all worked out really well with Sarah. So thank you for that.
Okay. I think, are we good on safe surveys?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Let's kind of move on and talk about what we got going on, what's new with the team. We have some listings that are live now, but we wanted to give you guys kind of a preview of what's going to be upcoming, the things that we have just kind of like brewing and working for you guys. So, you know, as always, we tell everybody like, oh, usually the most common outcome is you're going to find the house you like on the MLS, or you're going to find the buyer for your home on the MLS after listing. But we do like to put it out there. We do have a big network, and we do have a lot of, both buyer and seller clients. So we like to talk about things that are coming soon, just in case it's something that you want to keep, your finger on the pulse of that could work for you. So what do we got coming, Kenny?
We have one legal short-term rental coming.
Yeah.
Hawaiian Monarch. Yeah,
I believe so. This is a Waikiki short-term rental.
You have one that you're working with. This Ikena is a 4-bedroom single-family home.
Yeah, we will have. So we had an Ikena come last week, and that got scooped up super fast. But don't fret, because we have another one in the works. And if you are interested in Ikena, fill out the contact form. Go to the website, coreteamhawaii.com, fill out the contact form, DM interested in upcoming Ikena listing. And then we can, keep tabs with you to let you know kind of like how it's progressing and the dates we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. It's a nice one. 4 bedrooms, owned PV, all of the,
Nice.
all of the upgrades. PV, they widened the driveway, I believe. They, water softener, all that kind of stuff.
They did it.
Yeah,
That's
they've
good.
done all the things. So we talk about this all the time, but like new construction, when you buy from the developer, you're not able, there are just some upgrades that you're just going to have to do on your own, like the PV and stuff like that. And that's okay. It's still a great house. You're getting new construction. But when you buy resale, especially if it's something that's just recently built like this, it's like you're getting a like new home, but you're also now able to loop all the upgrades into your financing.
Right.
Whereas before, that's like an investment you would have had to take out a personal loan, whatever.
Window coverings.
Right. All of that stuff's already there.
Like
yes.
There's some things you can do with the developer in financing, i.e. appliances, but like light fixtures, ceiling fans, window coverings, solar, adding to the driveway, making a 3rd parking stall on the side yard behind a gate, things like the fence itself.
Yeah. And these are not like cheap upgrades.
No.
This is like for somebody who just bought a house and paid all the cash to close in their down payment. Yeah. It's another investment to make. So the fact that this is already looped into the home, and you can now, as a buyer, finance it, it's already looped in there. That's a big benefit. So sometimes to me, it's like, I don't want to oversell it, but it's like better than buying new, especially if it's this recent 2023, 2024 builds. I'm
new
like,
construction, move-in ready, this home being a few years old, turnkey.
Exactly.
Right. Just bring your furniture and a toothbrush.
Yep. Yep. What else we got? We have a 3-bedroom, I believe a 3-bedroom Mililani townhome coming up as well. We have a 2-bedroom Launani Valley, also Mililani, another townhome coming up as well. Working on for our West Side Bangers, a 2-bedroom Makaha Valley plantation. Yeah.
Townhome, not the towers.
Not the towers. Yeah. The townhomes. And it's got actually an ocean view. Like it's a 3rd floor with ocean view.
And it's an end unit. So
it's not an end unit, but it's,
okay.
Is it an
the
end
lanai
unit?
is facing the right direction.
The lanai is facing the right direction, and they've done some like mods to the unit that just make it, a little bit more unique and a little bit more functional, and it'll be nice.
Yeah, we chatted about that yesterday. I'm
so we're excited to bring all these things to market for you folks. And if you guys have questions about any of them, again, go to the contact form. Any of these things that we talked about, if it's interesting to you. Oh, look who's here. Mr. Derek is here. But fill out the contact form, say West Side or Ikena or Mililani or Waikiki STR, and then we can reach out to you to give you more details about those upcoming. But what else I said we was going to talk about today? New construction. Yeah. Okay. So affordable housing, new construction, which is like, doesn't happen that frequently, but we've got one in Coral Ridge happening now, releasing now. And we have application packets, and they're not small packets. They're big packets, and they include you having to go to the notary to get an owner occupancy affidavit signed. They are due tomorrow, Wednesday. Today is Tuesday, the 8th?
Yes.
Which means they are due tomorrow, Wednesday by 5 p.m. So if you would like to do that, go to the contact, or where's the number? Where's Charlotte's number? In the description. Go to Charlotte, call Charlotte, our assistant, let her know, Ke'olu, I'm interested in Ke'olu. And I'm going to be shameless about this, but do not go to the developer, because we cannot advocate for you. We cannot help you if you go directly to the developer. Come to us and we can help you. 1 to 3 bedrooms. They all have 2 parking stalls. They vary from like the smallest ones are like 458, I think, up into like the 650s. There are income requirements that need to be met. There are owner occupancy requirements that need to be met. This is a 10-year owner occupancy, meaning you need to plan to stay in it for 10 years. Otherwise, if you want to sell it, the county has the first right of refusal of your home, or you have to sell it to a buyer pool that would have also qualified for the affordable housing program with the income requirements and XYZ. At the end of the 10 years, though, however, a cool thing about this one, that is a long time to have to commit, right? So
their 5-year buyback is also sort of normal. So 10 is longer, but
at the end of 10 years, there's no shared appreciation, meaning you get to experience the appreciation of the home once it gets to that 10-year mark, and we're at like open market values now. So it's, not without its things that you need to be okay with. And you also need to be pre-approved with a preferred lender. Now, you can use whoever you want later, but they have preferred lenders that they require you to be pre-approved with in order to even submit your application.
Right.
And that, again, that's tomorrow at 5 p.m. that this phase application is due. There will be more. So, if you miss it on this time, get connected with us anyway. But if you're like, hey, I really, you know what? I could do all of this in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Then we can try. And call Charlotte, let her know I'm interested in this phase of Ke'olu. If it's this time and you're like ready to give all your tax documents, ready to talk to the lender, ready to do all of that stuff in a quick time frame, let us know and let her know it's urgent. I want to try for now. Otherwise, if it's, hey, I want to be kept up to date with future releases in Ke'olu, let us know that too. That way we can behave accordingly as far as designating time to those who want to do this more urgently.
And if it's helpful at all, of a client that's on the single family homes, they use an online notary.
They use the online notary?
They use an online,
and they let that go?
Yeah.
But
you double check with Kelly and Ed on this one. Maybe not. It could be different because it's a different
where you are.
So I don't want to over suggest that.
Yeah.
But for the sake of time, setting an appointment with a notary,
or go to your bank.
5 o'clock tomorrow. The bank usually has.
Go to the bank. Go to the UPS store.
Might need to go there to get some documents anyway.
Yeah. And it's a thick boy packet.
Yeah.
So
more than your normal lottery packet because of the. Again,
there's just
it's reserve pricing.
It's reserve pricing.
120% of the average
median
household income,
and also depends on your family size.
Right.
So it's
it goes.
You can make X amount per X amount of people in your household. So there's a lot of things that you need to be mindful of and pay attention to. But if it's something you're interested in, let us know, because those are just starting to happen. We've been waiting for affordable housing in Coral Ridge for a long time. And now they're starting up again. So we've been waiting for townhouses in general in Coral Ridge for a long time.
At least a year.
For a long time. They've been doing, single families and CPR style single families. So smaller lot, smaller home with maintenance fee single families. So
They shuffled Malukoa to the back and started going towards commercial, and then we've kind of been waiting ever since.
Yes.
So, and that sounds like it's closer to starting as well, but it's going to be after Keolu.
Yeah. Also, you cannot have owned a home within the last year to qualify for this. That's another thing to be mindful of.
Yes.
So, yeah, give us a ring.
Get to a couple of questions.
Yeah.
All right.
What we got?
Jesus, how's it? Any good news on interest rates coming down? We're going to leave that for Jody.
Jody's coming in.
She's going to come in and relieve me and talk to you a little bit more about that. I think at the moment, sort of no, but she'll have a lot more detail than that. Let's see. Ethan, what's up?
Ethan was just talking about you.
Yeah, your ears are burning. Vince, High Core team, are there any Bitcoin-backed lenders working with real estate in Hawaii? Just curious.
We'll ask Jody that. I don't really know. Vince, which Vince is this?
Just says Vince. I don't know which Vince this is.
Kahala Vince? Diamond Head Vince? Which Vince is this? Different Vince? But we'll ask Jody that. Yeah. Benjamin Wright. What's up, Ben? What's up, Danny? What's up, Christine? They're my Ward Village family.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Yeah, and they're like sent me pictures of their place. It's like duded out. The furniture looks great.
Nice.
They already were just here, and I think they're coming again. I'm like, might as well just move over already. You know, they're coming for like another 2 or 3 weeks. Like I think this month already, and they were just here. So I'm like, sounds like we need to primary occupy this a little bit sooner than maybe the original plan was.
I'm having the same conversation with the Chos. Remember the Hawaii Kai Marina, the duplex?
Yes, yeah.
They're done, or they're here in a couple of weeks, and they're expecting it to be finished.
The ones that just had the baby and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, are they coming to move here?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he's still knee deep in South Korea work, but they're going to come a lot more often now that it's done.
Yeah, cool.
So, anyway,
Laura NP, in the process of getting hired as a nurse practitioner in Oahu, what can about $5,000 a month get me? At least 1-bed condo, I hope. Couple of things. Yes. How long have you been employed? What's your employment history look like? I know you're like getting into this new position. Let us connect you with the lender if you're open to it. Go to the contact sheet, Laura, and and this is like a very low pressure, non-committal conversation, but like with the lenders and the financiers who can actually look at the snapshot that you have going on to give you a good idea. But let's just do for every, I don't know what today's rates. Let's be conservative and say $600.
Yeah.
$5,000. So every $600 that you can commit towards your housing payment gets you roughly $100,000 worth of purchasing power. So that would put you in the low 800s. However, low 800s is kind of that's definitely more than a 1-bedroom condo. All the other things need to make sense as well, like your debt to income, your credit score, the rate that you're going to be able to get. But generally speaking, around $600 to $100,000 worth of purchasing power. So you can lower that down. And then also consider that you have to take away from the purchasing power if you have an HOA.
Right.
So if you have a $600,000, if you have a $600 HOA,
it feels like
then it takes away $100,000 of purchasing power. So that would put you in the low 700s, right? For a 600, and as the HOA increases your purchasing power, so the price point of the home goes down, and vice versa.
Right.
So there's a lot of flexibility between like what that budget can get you, depending on a couple of things, mainly like the HOA. What does that budget look like?
Yep.
But
about 600,000 on a condo is probably where I would start the conversation. Planning on there being about $1,000 in HOA maintenance for a condo.
Yeah.
Townhomes, maybe we add 50 to 100,000 because
what hospital are you going to work at?
Right.
As well.
Yeah. Where are you going to be? What's your commute aversion? Other things wrapped around that.
Honolulu HOA. Sorry, I was so far away from the mic. Tend to be higher.
Yes.
Than other communities like a Mililani or a Pearl City or whatever, you know, Eva Beach. The HOAs tend to be higher in town, and that's because we have a lot of like older buildings. It's a lot more of condo buildings than it is like a townhouse. So we have a lot more shared elements. We have more amenities.
Lobby, security, elevators,
all of that stuff. And they're older. So generally they have like a higher HOA and like a heavier reserve commitment. Like they've already built in like more reserves for just, more projects because it's got more elements to the building. So Laura, this is really a conversation to have with a lender, but based on just income alone and the amount that you'd be able to pay monthly, like you'd be fine. You could definitely find something. It's just a matter of like knowing what your pre-approvals and your qualifications look like, and how that's going to work out for you.
100%.
Yeah.
Great question, Laura. Thank you.
Oh, Vince from the Bay Area, California.
Yep.
Okay, I thought you might have been one of my past clients. So sorry for the third degree.
Shout out to the Bay Area, California. Let's see.
Oh, you've been an NP in California for 2 years, right? That's good.
Yeah, and you would get pretty much get a green light, but still a conversation to detail out with maybe Jody and the team. So down to the bottom or jump into the description, and we're happy to connect you if you want. Mr. Bakadesu, what is typically expected on upkeep for living in a Hawaiian home?
It depends what community you live in. It depends how old your house is, what neighborhood you're in. Like, for example, for me in my community, it's a little bit older and there's not like AC everywhere. So everybody has their windows open. So and we have a lot of red dirt in our community. So it's pressure washing, dusting things down. If you lived in like Kaneohe, pressure washing. It is making sure that you are keeping your exterior paint high and tight, because it is a higher moisture side of the island. We get more rain. Any part of the island that gets more rain, you do want to be on top of your maintaining. What is that? You're maintaining or maintenance of your paint, because paint is what's going to keep things watertight.
I was going to touch on that too.
Yeah, if it's not watertight, that can lead to wood rot. You want to stay. Hawaii is a termite place. This is a tropical environment, so we just get termites.
Pest maintenance.
Making sure you got ground termite protection or whatever.
If you're in a master plan community and you have an HOA, actually just got a text from a neighbor friend. They've lived in the house longer than we've been here, but they know me as a realtor, so they ask advice. Like, man, do you have a painter? The HOA just put a note on our door. Our paint's too faded. We're going to have to paint within the next 6 months.
Faded paint. That's another thing. You live like super sunny, have a beach, whatever. Make sure. I mean, it's really just, we have rain or sun.
Yeah.
We don't have sleet or snow or any of that. And none of that kind of stuff. So it's really just like basic why can't I say maintain? Maintenance is basic maintenance of your home. Other things that are not unique to Hawaii, just like your AC systems. It's like a car, right? You got to get that service probably every year. You want to change your filters out quarterly, less or more frequently if you have pets, whatever.
Sure.
Just small things that can keep your big expensive systems running well just by doing maintenance. We don't have real extreme polarizing weather here, so there's not anything that's like real specific, except if you are lucky enough to live on the coast, on the ocean. We're going to be spraying things down. We're going to have salt everywhere. We're going to want to wipe down our fixtures. We're probably going to be changing out our fixtures. We also have hard water here, so that's another thing. Very, very normal. Almost, unless you're buying a brand new house, most houses that you buy resale, like unless they've done like a remodel or something, the valves and things like that, the plumbing valves, they're going to be a little bit rusted, a little bit corroded, and that's just, we have hard
Always
water.
Recommended to turn them on and off.
Your valves.
Whether that's once a quarter, a couple times a year.
Yeah.
Don't let them just sit there and seize up. Mr. Bokadeshu came back in and said, my brother and sister live on Oahu, but they're in a condo, so he was still unsure. So understanding more where that question comes from. In a condo, so it's less upkeep.
Yeah, I mean, you have a partner.
The valves, what we're talking about now on the interior.
You just have stuff on the inside of a condo, because when you live in a condo or a townhouse, you have a partnership with your HOA, and they're usually responsible for like all of the exterior stuff, which is why you pay them, right? So your maintenance fees, your HOA fees pay for that.
Yep.
So it's not like you're not responsible for it. You're paying for it, but you're not coordinating or handling any of that work yourself. That's like that needs to get done, call the HOA.
Right. You want to do best thing that never happened?
Best thing that never happened. Sure. Derek said he underestimated new flooring install costs. What price per square foot is he getting for install? It costs up to $5 per square foot in 2021, but now it's a range of 12 to 19. Derek.
Yeah.
What's the price per square foot you're looking at for your flooring installation? Or do you have that lined up yet? Your flooring installation? What's like your price per square foot roughly you're looking at?
Here, you can come over here if you want to see the question.
He's going to
Yeah,
use
I would,
Kenji's mic to help answer that.
Derek's gonna
You're going to chew his
bust
food first, though.
It depends a lot. The best thing never happened. Derek said he underestimated new flooring install costs. What price per square foot is he getting? Cost us $5 per square foot in 2021. Yeah, so hold on, let me just wheel over there.
Jody is here too, so I'm
Jody is
gonna
here.
leave because I got work to do.
You got work to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna let
Okay.
Jody come take over.
How about we both just swap out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, give it a second.
Yeah.
See, Derek's going to get his drink.
Derek has to finish chewing his manapua or whatever he's eating and come in here. Jody.
All right, guys. I will answer that question. So it really, really depends. Kenji, I don't have my phone, so you have to give me the questions if there's new questions. So it really depends on flooring costs. Depends on what kind of floor are you on. Are you, is it a post and pier home? So the home sits at like this level and there's these stilts. And so now you don't have a concrete subfloor, you have plywood, in which case you don't need epoxy or a 6mm plastic moisture barrier. Oh, thank you. Do you want to do the epoxy and the plastic, which isn't required, but some people may just want to do it the entirely right way? Is there self-leveling? A lot of self-leveling that's needed. Are you putting a sound barrier? There's just a lot of things that go into it. And so I have a guy that if you have like a flooring that we're going to go over, like a tile or a peel and stick laminate or vinyl plank that we're just going to go right over it, he'll put stuff down for like $2 to $3 a square foot, really cheap. And then it can get up to like $15 a square foot if all of that preparation needs to be done. Also, is your flooring person doing the baseboards or is your carpenter doing the baseboards? And so it varies so much from like $2 a square foot to $15 a square foot. Yeah. So sorry, I don't know if that answered your question, but I ended up going with a laminate. And so the laminate definitely needs the moisture barrier, whereas a vinyl plank, you should do the moisture barrier, but it's not going to fail in the same way. And so mine is coming out to, and some is carpet. So I don't know what mine's coming out to, but it's even for me with my guy who's giving me a pretty good deal, it's probably still like $6-7 a square foot. But they also saved me money because, so say this is the flooring and then there's like a hump here. You could self-level the whole floor for this one hump, or you can grind that hump down and then kind of just self-level around that. And so they did more grinding and stuff to get my high spots low rather than bring all of my low spots high, which would be more expensive material. You know, self-leveling concrete costs like $40 a bag.
I did not know that.
And then like for your house, it would probably take like 60 bags or something. Yeah, it's expensive. So yeah, do we have more questions?
We got that one for Jody.
The crypto.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
first one. That was for you.
There's some, I mean, there are the crypto backed or Bitcoin backed banks that will allow for real estate in Hawaii. I think there's definitely no brick and mortar here in Hawaii doing it. So you would have to just find a national, I mean, most of them honestly are probably online. Like most of them don't have brick and mortar. So that's there's that like 5/3 bank. It's like
The Fifth Third Bank.
Right.
It's like in the Tennessee area.
well, is there brick and mortar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a weird, my dad lives south of Nashville, right?
Right.
And that was a thing. Like you drive around and you see the Fifth Third Bank.
Okay. So I thought that was an online based bank only, which means like there's no like bank. You can't walk in anywhere and ask questions or anything. I mean, I guess it's not. I guess it has brick and mortar in Tennessee.
Maybe they have their online branch only. I don't know.
I mean, there are a bunch of like online only, like Capital One 360.
Okay.
Yeah. But all of the the crypto or the Bitcoin backed real estate crypto banks, I feel, are probably going to be online banks only.
I
So
see.
you can just Google it and find out. And the problem is that a lot of them are probably going to say that they're lending in Hawaii, but when you actually get onto customer service or what have you, and you're chatting with the bot or whoever you're chatting with, I think eventually you'll find that there's only a handful that will actually be able to lend in Hawaii.
Here's one for you and I to, will the wages ever meet the high demands of the cost to live there? I have a way to guide this, but what is your response without my influence?
I mean, it's no.
No. Yeah, I mean, that's a short answer. That's a one-word answer is no. Here's the thing. Through devaluation of the dollar, inflation, quantitative easing, those are all three basically synonyms. So all the same thing. And just affordability nationally, even if you're in Montgomery, Alabama, affordability is low. It's on a percentage, it's the lowest it's been ever, probably. Even, you know what's interesting? When our parents are like 6%, the first home I bought was at 18%.
Yeah.
It was more affordable for them to buy the home at the value it was at 18% than it is for us today to buy it at like 7%. So that, uncle, go sit down somewhere. You're not living the struggle that we're living today.
Right.
When you bought your home for 50 grand and now it's worth 1.8 million.
Right.
But this is a national problem. It feels different. It's more visceral. It's more disappointing. It's sadder in Hawaii when you see an auntie, an uncle, a grandma have to leave. It's different than, well, I can't live in Montgomery, so I got to move further out. Like, it's just not the same. And so, at least for us, right? That's our bias. That's exacerbated in highly desirable places to live, such as Hawaii.
Yep.
Maybe San Francisco for the people who want to live there. San Diego, like these places, the wage to affordability gap, it's just worse. But then you take Oahu and landmass wise, how much land and then how much usable land that's zoned for residential real estate, along with the sunshine tax and the ocean and the culture, it'll always be either the least or one of the least affordable places to live. And in a climate where the whole country is struggling, it's even worse.
It's magnified.
So I say that with like a melancholic tone because it's not something we just talk about in Hawaii. Like, there's indigenous people, there's Hawaiians, there's just local plantation, fourth generation people. It's different here. We feel differently about it. All I can say is you play a certain amount of defense. That's your budgeting. And then you play offense, learn how to increase your income. So yeah, touchy subject, but yeah.
Jesus is the first comment.
The very first comment at the very top.
Yeah.
Any good news on interest rates coming down? That's a Jody question.
Not soon.
Yeah. I'm just plan for it to be plus or minus this 0.5% for indefinitely. You can't time it. So
It's so hard. The jobs reports just came out last week, and every month there's jobs report, and every month there's an inflation report, and every month there's an unemployment. And
is it an inflation report or is it the CPI number?
CPI number.
Yeah, which is effectively interpreted to be what is inflation at.
Yeah. So the jobs report came back stronger than anticipated. And honestly, it was really unexpected. So like, I know I often say like, well, this was stronger than anticipated or weaker than anticipated, but no one really anticipated a strong jobs report. And it was. And so anyways, the 10-year was coming down.
What's that mean for the people?
So that means when the 10-year comes down, that mortgage rates get better. That's just
so
what
it was trending in a positive direction in terms of rates.
Right.
And then
the jobs report came out.
Which means too many jobs, too strong of an economy, need to put the the clamps on it a bit, stuff it down, like stuff the pot down because it's bubbling, which means higher interest rates.
Yeah,
So did they go up this past week?
they did.
When did the report come out? Jobs report?
Last Thursday.
Okay. And what were
Wednesday.
rates and what are they now?
So they were, well, VA was hovering. I mean, there was like we'll call it a blip. It was maybe 4 days of like 5.99s, even 5.99 with a little bit of lender credit. And now we're back up to 6.25.
Okay.
With lender credit, with strong lender credit. So it's the tranche, the good old tranche that I always like to talk about. What is, it was when we landed on 5.99 with a little bit of lender credit, I thought we were going to land there for a while, for maybe until the next 90 days, until and then potentially see a rate drop. That's kind of what we thought was going to happen. And then now a 6.25 is kind of paying lender credit, which means we get to help you cover some of your closing costs, but a 6.125 costs money.
Yeah.
So and that's an eighth difference. So that's like $45 a month different in monthly payment.
Yeah.
But the difference out of pocket now could jump from like $8,000 in closing costs to like 12. So it's a big,
Take the $45 because you're probably going to refi sooner.
right. So it doesn't make sense to even, I know a 6.125 sounds better than a 6.25, but once we kind of show the numbers and let the numbers do the talking, it becomes quite apparent that you're going to want to go with the 6.25 where we're able to help cover some of the closing costs.
You know, being an pretty effective marketer, you know, I look at things, I just look at everything through a different lens, right? I look at Kenji's shirt and I'm like, okay, what are they thinking? What message are they trying to send? Are they actually good people with good intentions because it has a good statement on his shirt, or are they bad people? You know, like I just think of everything that way. And Dave Ramsey, some of you guys, some of everyone, some of us, we Dave to our detriment. And so when Jody's talking about the points thing, you know, I don't know that Dave necessarily says in that situation, spend an extra $4,000 and have 45 less a month. But he may, and many of his disciples are like, no, there's just all the points and all the there's smarter ways than just Dave. And if you're buying a home, congratulations, you may actually be graduating from Dave. I was listening to a podcast. I was talking about accelerated strategies to pay down your mortgage. And he goes, Dave is pre-budget. We're post-budget. So like Dave is for people who've not yet learned how to budget or don't have one.
Right.
These other strategies are for people who have a budget and have done well, you know, whether, you know, because of the budget or just done well and they happen to have a budget. So yeah, you don't always buy points just because it sounds better. There's math that could likely show that it might be a waste of money. Hey, good thing you're here. I have a question for you. Someone said, Puffkin said, any idea of what kind of homes they are building near the soccer park in Ho'opili? Construction site seems more active than before, just the past few weeks. The tiny home. Oh, that's the tiny home section. Yeah, so they're building these small homes. Yeah, that's right. I forget. Do you know the name of it? Menehune. Menehune is like small person. Ri'i is like little. I wonder if they'll call it ri'i. No. But in any case, tiny homes are being built. And I think that's, needed Mahe to jog that for me. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
You want to hit Brenda Wood?
Brenda Wood? Any idea of what price range is? Hey, we trying to podcast and content over here, bruh. Any idea what price range is for solar? It depends. So how much solar do you need? Are you leasing? Are you buying? In most cases, buy. The only time I wouldn't buy, especially right now while the tax credit is in effect, the only time I wouldn't buy is.
So that's this year.
This year. In fact, you need to get on the books ASAP.
Yeah.
Like in the next month, you need to be on the books because all the solar companies are stacking up their books and permit requests, et cetera, to get stuff on roofs by the end of this year. This year, for sure, buy, unless you don't have income for some reason and can't realize the tax credit. So often that's retired people and maybe other unique circumstances. So is probably usually like 40 to 60,000 for most roofs. Whatever the case is, like say your bill is 500, when you buy and get the 25-year loan for the solar, your bill will probably be 380 to 420, you know? And so you will pay less for having solar. That's the easy math. You will pay less for having that solar. If you watch us a lot, you may know we have our solar guy. So reach out to us. We'll connect you with our solar person. And the other thing is, I am getting solar at my home. I want the like disaster preparedness. I want the batteries and the electricity, and the grid goes down. My family on the mainland's all into solar flares and like what China could do actually rather than bomb us, like shut down our grid. And I want solar for myself for that reason. We should do it soon. It always makes sense. The more electricity you use, the more it makes sense. If your bill is like $150 from a cost saving standpoint, you're barely going to save.
Yeah.
At 200 and above is where you really start to feel it. All right, what else we got?
Vince.
Our condos normally leasehold and all homes fee simple. I used to own a condo and I loved that video. It was back in 1980. No, condos are not normally leasehold. However, leaseholds are normally condos.
Yeah.
You know, so if you go just sort our search to leaseholds, they're almost always condo. But if you search for condos, almost none, like a small percentage of them are actually leasehold. So you want to be careful. If for those who don't know what leasehold is, this table, can you see the table in the video? Yeah. So this condo building is on this table, which is land. You own one of the 100 units in here. So you own 1/100th of the building, of the 4 walls. You own the condo, but you don't own the land it's on. So fee simple refers to you owning a proportionate interest in the land. It's kind of like a mobile home or something. It's a depreciating asset. Generally, we don't recommend it. Now, Jody can help us convert a leasehold property to fee simple during the escrow process. And so you can buy a leasehold, convert it to fee simple. You purchase the fee. So you purchase your share of the land or the table. We generally avoid them, but
one of the reasons why people might not be able to finance a leasehold is because of the term of the lease. So sometimes that term you might be like, why is this property, you know, it's so nice. Why is it 200,000? You know, it's like, well, because you only get to use it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then you're like, bye. And it's,
you'll still have it, but your lease terms will renew, right? And so you have no idea.
It doesn't always renew.
Well,
and there's no guarantee it's going to renew.
There's no guarantee it's going to renew. Yeah. What's an example? Do you know of a specific building?
I mean, that's a lease expiration. If the lease expires, it's not, I mean, they're not necessarily going to create another 50-year lease.
Do you know of a situation where a building, like the lease expired and it was just like, all right, done. We're tearing it down for something else? I just don't know of many of that situation. I'm sure there are.
There's the condos in Aiea, Waiau, Gardens, I think.
Townhomes, yeah.
Townhomes, yeah. And it's this one of the most traumatizing stories, and it was someone that
That's where the Kind's dad lives, yeah. Lance's dad.
Yeah, no, it's not that project.
Not that project.
It's not that, but it's really close by.
There, yeah.
And so they own the lease, and I was trying to help them buy the fee. Long story short, it didn't happen. And so what happens is, after a certain right of refusal, anyone can buy the fee. And so someone bought the fee.
So someone just owns it like they would own like a tax lien note or something.
Right. Or they can say, okay, your lease is over, get out.
Yeah.
And sure, take the house if you want. Take the condo, take the townhouse.
Yeah.
You can't. You cannot actually like get a huge saw and cut it. And
well, people do, and Hawaii is a rare place where they do move houses.
Right.
But yeah.
It's not easy.
In condos, you can't.
And not everyone has the capacity or to even logistically figure out how to do something like that.
Could we acquiesce that probably if your lease expires, there's going to be a new lease term, but not always? If it's a condo?
No, not
you
if
even say probably.
I mean, there's a lease there's a lease renegotiation that occurs.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, we can say probably.
Yeah, probably like out of 100 condos in town that are leasehold, and if they're all expiring between now and 2030, most of those 100 condos will still be condos that tearing it down to put up a'ali'i but it's possible that at least one or a few might.
And it's
Not-
possible that the landowner just wants to do something else with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
possible that they want to do, maybe
So-
convert it to commercial
or it's possible that someone else just bought the fee and was like, "Okay, your lease is up, get out," which is what happened to this family that we were trying to help buy it.
That's interesting. Yeah. So, well,
Like,
And
could
the-
you even imagine doing that? I could.
kicking someone out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more so it doesn't really happen on the mainland except for in commercial. Actually, in University of Hawaii School of Business is I believe the Schuler School of Business, or what is it? Forget the name. Schneider, yeah. That guy kind of pioneered like leasehold real estate across the country. So needless to say, he got his name on the school and he's known for leasehold. So he's got a lot of money or had. And so more common in commercial, underwriting in commercial, reasonings for buying and are different. In residential real estate, I don't know of another state where agents are even familiar with leasehold. There might be some cities, but it's really kind of a Hawaii thing. And you, for the most part, want to avoid it. If and when I ever buy a leasehold, it'll be sort of a sad moment.
Yeah.
Because if I do it, it will either mean I regress and can't afford something else, or more what I was getting at is I'll be towards the end of life.
Right.
Because I will buy it at 80. If I'm 80, I want to have a place in town and there's a 40-year lease on it, I'll buy a leasehold. It won't matter. But what will matter is whatever wealth is designated towards that, air quotes, asset, that will not be appreciating. That money will not be at work for me other than the fact of quality of life and me having my Waikiki condo or whatever I want for that season of life. I won't build wealth through it to pass on to my children. So I'll likely never buy one.
And most likely, I mean, most of the time, there's actually like even the people that are like, no, we really want to buy leasehold. Because of the lease term, they can't finance it. So unless you're paying cash, it's very difficult to finance.
Yeah. Another reason why they are priced so low. So when you see something that's too good to be true, is leasehold. And in terms of your question, there are single families on leasehold. The concept is just the same though. You own the single house, you own the four walls, usually probably plywood, single wall construction, but someone else owns the land that you sit it on, like you would do a mobile home, right?
Yeah. So we call it glorified renting.
It kind of is glorified renting, right? It's like long-term stabilized glorified renting. So like a mobile home in Florida, you rent the slip, but then you own the mobile home. So if they kick you out of the slip, you can move the home, but that's not an appreciating thing.
The home isn't like you bought it for $50K and then 10 years later it's like $60K or $70K or $80K, right? Like we have
it's not even $50K.
Right, it's not even $50K. Yeah. We have a buyer who's struggling right now with paying off an RV, and it sucks because
you're upside down on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's major upside down.
But you know what? If I lived in one of those states, I would have an RV.
I would too. But after this, I'm kind of traumatized.
You could afford it.
It's like that much upside down. But yeah, I'm like, I would never sell it anyways.
Have you seen the ones where, leave us a comment if you've ever been in an RV or if you're in a state where that's a thing, or in a city where or outside of a city probably. Have you seen the ones where the walls and so now you have this big like condo?
It's like, that's like seriously my bucket list. I have a very small bucket list. Because I'm like boring and lame.
Go around America in an RV.
That's it.
Me too. I want to do that.
That's it.
I want to go around America. Do you want a fifth wheel so the truck tows it, or do you want it to drive, like it to be the vehicle?
I want it to be the vehicle.
And so you're gonna like tow like a little Prius behind it or something?
Yeah. And well, it's gonna be a caravan because it's gonna be like multiple people, and like there's gonna be like
such a hippie.
6 different families, and
Jody's a successful hippie. Educate, successful, smart, free-spirited lender.
Yeah.
You have to figure out a way to preserve your money. that's why I'm asking about crypto backing. It's a paradigm shift coming in maybe 5 to 10 years. Vince, I will just say that some of the understanding of crypto around these parts with some of the conversations that happen over here is very deep and high level.
Yes.
It's just not regulated and what you want it to be at this point. You
Right.
know?
I mean,
And so-
it's hard enough to use crypto, the asset, like literally, like I can prove to you that I have this much Ethereum and the value of this Ethereum in dollars is 100,000, and I'm gonna convert it, and that's my 100,000 that I'm gonna use as my down payment to buy my house. Using that is hard enough. Like, so
yeah.
that's just how far
Can
we
you?
are.
Yeah, you can. So like if I have a stock portfolio worth $1 million of Tesla and Apple and just the S&P 500, and then I say, hey Jody, I'm gonna buy a house. I'm gonna need to pull out 200. You can say, oh, he's got it.
Yes.
If it's Ethereum and Bitcoin,
we
there's
can.
just more you have to do to like justify that, or only certain wholesale lines.
Only
then what?
it's really hard.
And I have to I would imagine I would want to, like, if I were the lender, the upline wholesale lender, I would be like, they got to liquidate that sooner than they would if it was stock. Like they need to get that thing liquid next week.
Oh,
not
I mean,
next month.
it's liquid before you're going to have final approval.
Yeah.
So it's liquid. You already have to sell the Ethereum or whatever the.
Whereas if it's stock, regular, traditional, like S&P index fund, when do I have to get liquid? Just in time for funding, not final loan approval.
Just to wire the funds.
Got it.
But the problem is with crypto is that you don't get a monthly Well, actually, I have seen, I'm trying to remember, I have seen a version of a currency that does have a monthly statement. And so for that type of currency, that was easy. But for like, I think most people, actually, I don't know what most people have, but like we have in Kraken, right? Cryptocurrencies, that's where it is. I mean,
Kraken's like Coinbase. If you're not a crypto person, most people probably heard of Coinbase or like crypto.com or something. Kraken's the place where you buy and store your.
So you don't get like a monthly statement, and you definitely don't really get a
like
monthly.
Schwab gives you.
Right. And that says Jody Tonga, account number,
and there's
beginning balance, end balance, like.
Because that's like SEC/IRS required, right? And for Schwab to do.
Yes.
But Kraken's, they're still figuring all that out.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, all of that money, I mean, right now, it's not really, I'm not a CPA. I don't know the technical tax laws and whatnot, but right now it's not like you're getting issued a 1099 or any type of thing if you made X dollars.
It's really up to your CPA on how they want to report it or not.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to self-report. There's not a document you get that says like, okay, you bought it at this, you sold it at this.
Yeah.
You only owned it for less than 2 years. It's
many choose to not report it until they sell it, so they liquidate, right? So they want to turn it to dollars.
Right. But I'm saying even then there's no documentation.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right. Tiny homes, interesting. Going to be Niele once they start constructing homes. I can tell where you from. Laura says, what are your favorite condo complexes near or within a decent driving distance from the Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center, or Waianae Comp, as we call them? Laura, if you're going to be working Waianae Comp, it just depends. So it depends on your price point and what you want. Makaha Valley Plantation, 3rd floor with a view. Not just because we have one coming up and are going to be selling one and it's a nice one, but that's one. You get all of the views without being in the towers, where you're really high up. But depending on when you have to go to work and your schedule, etc., you're going with the traffic. Like you're in the traffic in the morning. You could live Makakilo, Kapolei, and be in a condo or townhome and be reverse commute. So you go towards Waianae. I'm probably, if just one answer, Makakilo, Kapolei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
Yeah. Yeah. When's the last time we went Waianae Comp?
Oh, I don't know quite where that is, but
Kenji.
I was definitely thinking the drive from Kapolei is not really that far.
Yeah, it's like mid Waianae. It's like between Makaha and Nanakuli. It's like in the middle.
Okay.
And yeah, I would rather be coming from Kapolei than coming from Makaha most times.
Yeah. And the HOA dues in the Makaha Valley plantations are they've gone up quite a bit.
They have gone up.
It's
a little
they
bit.
they have it's a healthy building. So
Yeah.
the budget is good, the finances are good, reserve study looks good.
Oh, because
They've taken-
Sire just closed there. Yeah.
And we have actually 3
You have 3
that
over
just
there?
closed in there, and
Oh.
2 VA, 1 conventional.
Oh, okay.
So-
we'll have to talk offline because we have one coming up, and if we could source a buyer sooner, even if it's from one of your other people, then
I
Could
do
do.
have some people looking in there.
looking for MVP.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's talk about it. I was in the Air Force getting off base housing, so I bought it and sold it, put it down on my home in North Bay, California.
Yes.
North Bay. So where are you at? Like Petaluma or
And how much did you make?
Novato?
And how long did you own it?
Sausalito, San Rafael. What's North Bay? I was in there. It's that coming to Robin Hood's. Oh, that's coming to Robin Hood stock lending. Do a rave, I think, or do a rave. Dorave. Crypto is how I will be buying my first home. The new financial system is coming, and it will all run on the blockchain, and everything will be tokenized at that point, like real estate. I get it. The thing is something, something could be amazing, but the subjects that want to use it have to be able to adopt it.
Right.
And so the monkeys like myself have to be able to wrap our heads around like Bitcoin, what? And then you, or who sounds pretty proficient, are like, you're already using a fiat currency that's ones and zeros in a computer at fractional reserve banking, and you're doing it. This is just better. I hear you, but I want, like, where's my dollar, for my pizza? And so I do think there will be more lag than the Bitcoin maxis want there to be,
Right.
but something of the sort is coming. And yeah,
Well, I
agree.
mean, it's like ATM cards and credit cards, right?
I have no idea what dollars, I just log into my account and there's dollars in there, right?
It's not going to be easy for the masses.
Yeah.
It is an uphill battle at best.
Yeah.
So we're talking the future generation. I mean,
Yeah.
and they don't have that much money yet.
Yeah, it sucks.
So
Do you see the condo price decline continue into 2026? No. I think what you're referring to is a steeper decline that happened like late, like 23 into 24. And that was because of insufficient insurance, having to up insurance, reserves, CapEx, such as sprinkler, retrofitting, et cetera. A lot of these things all came due, and it made for this stunted condo market in the 23 to 24 timeframe. But I think all of that is settled. And so I think I don't see an obvious reason why condos can keep going down. Do you? Sounds like maybe.
Well,
Okay.
I have seen, we have denied a lot of condos.
Recently?
So yes.
Why?
Budget, finances,
So
financial stability.
So they haven't all issue so what I'm saying is we've seen so many assessments and HOA fee increases, et cetera. And so now they're starting to pad the reserve funds and build up the reserve fund. And then they've done the fire sprinkler retrofitting. They've done the this and the that. But what you're saying is, nah, but I'm a lender and I look at their financials at mass more often, and not all of them they haven't fixed all of them.
They haven't fixed a lot of them.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say, actually, I don't know if I can comfortably give a percentage, but it's a lot. And
What's your anecdote? I mean, because a lot, if your chance of getting cancer is 1%, that's a lot. If your, chance of getting home on time today is 50%, that's whatever. So you feel like it's definitely more than it should be. But what do you think, just in your anecdote without any numbers, like of the condos you're underwriting in the last 3 months, like 10% of them you're having to deny? 5%?
more than 10, less than 20.
That is more than I would think. at this point in that cycle that I was referring to.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, we were starting to feel really good about it because they're like,
Yeah.
yes, we closed this one, we closed that one, and then we just got a slew, and a lot of it is coming down to the reserve collection. So of all the HOAs that get collected from all the homeowners,
Mhm.
there needs to be a 10% reserve.
Okay.
And that needs to be left over. Like you need to have that much. And so many of the condos that I've been looking at, they don't have that. And it's just because the expenses are up. And
I'm gonna put you in maybe a no comment situation.
okay.
Jody works being a lender. I understand she cheats on me. I understand she has other agents she works with, and that's just that's how this business goes. Lenders work with a variety of agents, whereas agents tend to find a lender. Most of our business, happens with Pacific Rim Mortgage, unless it's new construction, and in some cases it's still with them. But I think why our experience and our anecdotes differ is you don't get that from us very often.
That's correct.
And so we don't very often write an offer and find ourselves in a situation where a condo has insufficient funds or is just not a good one, because you have people such as Aiden and Mahi and Kenny or whatever working through you guys in collaboration to say like, hey, do you already have the recent, reserve fund study on this? Do you have R105C? Do you have these things? Or we acquire them sooner somehow. We underwrite it before writing the offer more so. So in the last 3 months, I don't know that we've fallen out on that at all.
No, there was just one. And actually we ended up saving that one.
Oh, yeah?
And that was more than 3 months ago.
Okay.
But we ended up finding a different source and we were able to like squeeze it through.
So people are just writing offers and that's not within your control, but you're getting to a point of underwriting. You go, can't buy
Yeah. And right. I will definitely say that not all, I say it all the time. Not all lenders are equal. Not all agents are equal. The amount of due diligence that goes into being ready to submit an offer is not the same. And also having the ability to do the due diligence, feel confident, and submit the offer in a timely manner, that's also not easy.
A lot of art to that.
And so, and that doesn't mean that it's never going to happen with you guys, but yeah, there's
we'll have some, like there's some where we can't see what's coming, but to the extent we can, we want to avoid writing offers on situations that are just going to be either just not a good purchase for you or not purchasable at all. We want to avoid you doing a home inspection and having that expense and then learning that you can't even buy the condo anyways.
Yeah.
Aloha, this will be the last question. Aloha, what's your price appreciation forecast for the studio unit in Kaka'ako Ward area? The studio or studios in general? Do you expect any decline in the next 5 years? If so, how much? I just bought one recently. Mimi, I have to ask, why didn't you buy with us? Or did you? Did you and I don't realize it? Or why didn't you buy that one with us? I get that all the time. I'll be walking through Costco. Hey, you're the guy, bro. I love your video. He took selfie. I sent him to my wife. I just bought one house. I had one guy. He's like, I learned everything from you, bro. I bought a house because of you, bro. It's so awesome to meet you. I'm like, I cannot help but to ask, like, what happened? And he's like, oh, like at my new job, this person had a realtor and I just got connected with her and I used her, but I learned everything from you. As if that was like some sort of reconciliation to me. I was like, okay. But sometimes it's, my wife's auntie's an agent or whatever the case may be. I found you after I was in an agreement, whatever the case may be. It's fine. Don't worry. We're okay over here. But I have to learn, we don't learn why we missed you. We can't improve. I don't know. I don't want to throw out a 5-year prediction on whether those will go up or down. I think in the Ward Kakako area, it's going to be very building dependent. Do you have any sort of view? Will it be changed in 5 years? Do you have litigation because of the plumbing that was put in? Will that happen? Will it not? So to say studios in the area in general, it's just hard to know. Hopefully you bought pre-construction. that's a great time to buy in terms of an appreciation play. But being that it's a studio, I'll tell you what, I don't prefer studios as opposed to 1 bedrooms, and I like 2 bedrooms even more. Now, in some cases, I may like a 2 bedroom better than a 3 bedroom condo, depending on the building and the area. But I generally 2 bedrooms is a sweet spot. And do you have parking, and how much do you have in comparison to others? So those are all things to consider. Sometimes studios have no parking, but then if you're one of the 10% that have parking, then that's different. And maybe you purchase a storage unit too. So it all really depends. All right, guys, we have to get going. You told us about rates. Do you have anything else to share with the people?
No.
What month is it? Leos, Geminis, Cancers?
Cancers.
Cancers.
It's
still Cancer
still
time?
your time.
My time. Oh yeah, you know. All right, guys. Drop us in the comment section. Drop us your sign, and we'll see.
But it's
you.
almost Leo season.
It's almost Leo. Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay.